as a family, you've been very much into academics, right? I mean, right from your dad.
Oh, yeah. So my father, as you know, is a retired professor of agriculture. He had done his PhD back in India, and he served his entire life for the Odisha University of Agriculture and Technology as a soil physicist. And then four of us brothers all have done our PhDs in US. My eldest brother is a mathematician. He's a Bhatnagar awardee. My second eldest brother is the director of IIT Goa. No, second brother is the director of IIT Goa. The eldest brother is at IISc Bangalore. He's a mathematician, senior professor there. And my third brother went into Air Force, so he didn't pursue higher studies. But my fourth brother did a PhD in computer science and worked for Intel for many years in US, but now in Bangalore, back in Intel again, I think. And then I also did my higher studies in US in civil engineering. So academics been sort of, in the family. My grandfather, runs in the family in a sense. He was more of a priest or a tantric or spiritual minded person. My father has also gone into monkhood after his retirement, so he's in sannyas ashram.
Yes, yeah.
So that's my family background. So it comes in a way naturally that we should get into teaching and academics and research and so on and so forth. Yeah.
So you were the principal of an engineering college and I think a management institution in Odisha?
That's right. So I went back to Odisha in 2003 from Australia, joined KIT University as the Dean of Research. Then I became a principal of engineering college in South Odisha. Then we started our own management institute, which I helped establish. Then since 2011 onwards, we merged it with another engineering college in Bhubaneswar. So I have been heading both the institutions as the director of academics and principal of the engineering college. Right.
So TK, I mean, you've been actively involved in this whole system. So, what do you think of the education system in India, basically? I mean, over the last 30 years, I mean, 35 years when you studied and now, and how has it changed? And, I think what can we do to actually ensure that we are creating more employable graduates?
Yeah, that's a big question, Manoj. And now with the new education policy, the national education policy that has come, very big plans, very ambitious goals have been set. I was part of the state higher education task force, which was formed in 2010. So I had some role in formulating a policy for Odisha government. There was a 10-year policy actually, which is going to be over in 2022. So at that time also we had some opportunity to study these issues. Around that time, you may remember there was a Sam Pitroda committee, also Knowledge Commission, and before that there was a Yashpal committee. So we studied both their work and the earlier policies as well. We have tremendous potential, no doubt about it. I mean, being a young nation, the dividend, the demographic dividend.
Dividend
is there for us to harvest, but it can become demographic disaster unless education is handled with priority and with a lot of
that you're using a future tense or a probability, element of probability to that, because some people say that it's already become a disaster, but
that is true. I mean, I'm afraid I tend to agree that we are at a critical moment in history where we can go either way, and like many people believe, we might be going in the wrong direction in the last couple of years at least. But at the same time, the new policy kind of gives yet another opportunity to bring back the focus on education. But it's so ambitious in its goals and objectives and so on. And so it will be equally challenging when it comes to its implementation, and that is the crux of it actually. And
Very,
that is what
you
should
know,
really be focused on.
yeah, it's very
Um,
interesting. Just a little while ago, I think I saw a statement from I think our president
mhm.
was he made a statement saying that I think the NEP will restore India's glory. Just I think he was talking today, and I think the statement has just come out. So, do you
That's
think
very
do you think it really goes, or it has the potential to actually do that? Is it?
well. There is a problem there, Manoj. I think when we talk about glory and sort of thing, and the stated goal of the policy is by 2040, India should be the knowledge superpower of the world. In a way, the number one country in terms of education, knowledge, research, innovation, and all of those sort of things. And when some of these political types make statements that it will restore our glory, they generally hark back to the thousands of years old
Nalanda, Takshashila.
Nalanda and Takshila and all that, about which we don't even know well enough I mean, you can put it anyway, to say that, oh, we were the world's best those days, but how that correlates with today, it's so different. There is much to learn from our tradition, from our ancient history, and so on and so forth. But just blindly glorifying it, and trying to somehow juxtapose it with today's situation, it can be a source of inspiration, but there are other alternative motives, ulterior motives that are at play when such examples are brought into discussions, and I don't think that's helpful at all. I think what is important is to focus on what needs to be done right now, and there are fundamental issues that need to be tackled at the school level, at college level, and higher education level. And those would need a lot of solid work, a lot of investment, a lot of prioritization of education, which it hasn't been done before. So to that extent, the planning and the implementation, that is what is the most important challenge in front of us. But if all the things that's been laid out in the policy can actually be implemented, then there is no reason why we cannot improve the situation dramatically. But right now, though, where we stand, whether it's higher education, whether it's school education, whether it's college education, there is much to be desired, obviously. I mean, just an example, I mean, as you know, in higher education, where 7 universities in Hong Kong, feature in the top 100 in the world, India's best institution, which is ISC Bangalore, doesn't even rank in the top 300. I mean, mainland China has several universities in the top 100. So this we have been talking about a long, and one of the reason also I wanted to come and see HKUST is, as you know, it's one of the youngest universities, and it's the number one university in the world among the 50-year or younger universities. And overall, it ranks very high, 30 or 40 in the world. So to do that in 25 years, it's a case study. It's an example of how such things can be done. And we have been talking in India about this sort of thing for many years now, for almost 10, 15 years. But we are still debating whether a world-class university can be built from scratch in 20, 30, 40 years. Whereas places like HKUST or in Singapore, I think, what is it? Not NUS, the other one.
Nanyang Technology.
NTU, yeah.
NTU.
Or there is a university in Middle East. Within 30 years, they have come up and they have become world class. But in India, we have been debating this topic for many years now. Yeah. So we have to go beyond the debates and discussions and really focus on the actions that are needed. Yeah. And same with school education. I can give you many examples. I had the opportunity to work with Pratham for for some time, and there are fundamental challenges at the primary level to do with functional literacy and numeracy and so on, where a whole lot of things can be done, which unfortunately our system has not been able to accomplish so far. Yeah.
You should have continued and have become, we need a minister for human resource or, education, people like you in those kind of positions. But
thank you for saying that, Manoj.
well,
But Indian politics remains to be a kettle of fish. Some people are not very interested.
yeah. So let's, maybe just one quick question for, probably some youngster who might chance upon this. From your perspective, from your vantage point, let's say beyond the technical skills, that you acquire, and what sort of attributes really, should these youngsters focus on, and will be really valuable when they join the workforce?
Yeah, I think, this whole idea of lifelong learning, a curiosity-based, a desire to continue to learn every day, that has to be instilled from very early on. And that, I think, is the crux of what I believe that I received from my family or parents, or let's say early schooling also. And often you see it lacking because people learn for all sorts of reasons, go to school, acquire skills, but doing it for the right reasons is very important. So if you do it for just a job or to make a living, that's one thing. But doing it for the inherent, love for learning and to improve yourself continuously, then jobs and employment and employability, they all become kind of a
they follow from that. They follow
from that. Right. It's like in business, they say, you should not be in business to make money, but to pursue a passion, then money follows, profits follow. But if you are pursuing profit all the time, then you probably are no good at your business anyway. So that's where I would say to youngsters that don't worry about the future. Uncertainties are there. Things are going to change, more rapidly than ever before as we go forward. But the only way you can tackle that is by just, maintaining that childhood. In fact, the childish curiosity, which many times our education system actually kills. Is what needs to be nurtured and maintained.
Jigyasa.
Jigyasa, yeah. Very true. You have to be jigyasa.
Yeah. No, actually, President in his speech just mentioned that word again today. So.
All right. Okay. I have to listen.
I think he, I saw the statement and he used the word jigyasa, curiosity. So basically teaching children or people to learn kind of thing.
Absolutely. You hit the nail on the head. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's probably the biggest challenge. How do you really get people to love learning? I think that's, well, yeah. Anyway, on that note, DK, I think, we could go on. I think we could talk.
I know.
But thanks very much for sharing your thoughts. Maybe some other time for something more, I think will work. And thanks a lot, DK.
Thank you, Manoj.